Yeah, all right. 5 o'clock, so we're gonna begin our work session. 5 o'clock, we're gonna begin our work session. Thanks, Carol.
Okay, Bob.
All right, first project to review is 47 Joy Avenue. Are there any comments from board members?
No comment.
I had none.
None. I don't think I had any.
All right, so there's no comments on 47 Joy. Next, we have 36 South Gore Avenue. Any comments on that?
Looks good.
I just noticed one thing, it's probably a graphic thing, but a window in the kitchen is shown to be removed. But in the elevation, it shows that window, so just wanted to clarify that I think they're removing it, but.
Okay.
I had a question on east elevation, the upper floor windows are labeled as awnings. Is that a window style or is there?
Awning? Yeah, it's a window style.
Mhm.
Just pops out.
Like
Okay.
it hinged at the
There are
top.
no other
and-
questions?
Yeah.
Thanks for the education.
All
So we
right,
Ever having a landscape architect in the
Yeah.
world.
right. Landscape architects don't learn that.
Yeah.
In money.
All right, next we have
Chalk this up to continuing education.
219 Portland Terrace. This was an amendment to the previous approval for the windows.
Talking about this one, right?
Yeah.
Right, so this is one we saw and was approved with some changes, and we'll discuss it during the meeting. So moving on to the next submittal, we have 461 Bacon Avenue. Is it- Yeah, I'm looking at this now. So that one is pre-approved, so no need to discuss that one. Next on our list, we have 676 Atlanta, which is also a pre-approval. Which brings us to 457 Yorkshire Place, the motorized awning.
I didn't.
Comments from the board members on 457 Yorkshire.
Just only that it's reversible, that once they remove it in the future, it doesn't take away stuff that's there already.
I had a question, just looking at the photos and then the 3D, it doesn't look like they quite line up. I'm not sure if this awning is attached to the fascia of that little overhang. And if it is, that sits outboard of the wall that it's adjacent to, and it looks like it could cut into the window elevation.
Yeah, I had a similar question. I wasn't sure if it was like somehow notched or what.
Or
Cause
they build up behind.
Built up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, maybe I do that to even up the two planes.
Yeah.
that was my same question. All right, so just a clarification on install there. Anything else? All right, next we have 24 South Rock Hill Road. Attached tuck under garage and rear addition.
I had a comment on the columns. Looks like the existing house has round columns and the drawings appear to look like they're square. And I thought it would be nice if all those columns match since it kind of wraps around the house. And then there's no materials called out on the elevations, so I assume that they're gonna match the existing, but it would be good to have them tell us that.
I had some other clarifications as well. I was wondering if the front door and side lights are being replaced or if those are remaining. And then there's also an existing transom over the front door that doesn't appear on the drawing. So I was wondering if that's being removed. I had the similar comment about the porch columns. And then also the existing chimney in the photos looks like it's some sort of masonry material, but on the drawings it's covered with siding. So I just wanted to clarify what was going on there. And I think some more windows would help on the left side elevation, and maybe adding a window to the center bedroom. So it would have a double window like the front bedrooms do, and then also adding a window into the bath, because that's an awful lot of siding on that side.
I had a question on the attic level. There's a door in the office. I can't really tell if it goes to the outside or is it a closet? It doesn't appear to show on the elevation unless I'm missing something.
You say on the attic level?
Yeah, it probably goes to the underside of that roof,
Mm-hmm.
triangular shape, but yeah.
Like a storage space or something?
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What it looks like. All right, Dave, did you have any comments?
No.
I think I had a similar comment about the center left bedroom. As Carol did, and that was about it. All right, next we have 330 Marshall Avenue, second story and rear addition. Comments from the board?
Looks like they have like a transition board between the new and the existing. Just wondering if they need that, if they can step the elevations in a bit with the addition, so they just have the stucco turn the corner. Or a stucco, I think it's actually called the ephes, but same idea. And then there's no windows on the addition, like around the fireplace or on the entry elevation, which seems to be kind of lacking, having windows.
Agree.
Yeah, that was kind of one of my comments, is if they're keeping that existing stucco and putting new stucco on top, like how that would, what that would be for the second story.
Oh, got it.
It wasn't clear if the window style was changing. I mean, the drawings are so small, it's kind of hard to. And then I did have the comment on the windows. And then just a graphic thing on the front elevation. I think the new stairs are going down to each side, but on the front elevation, they're dashed in like they go straight to a wall.
The existing to be removed.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're showing.
And on the left elevation, I know a lot of times windows can't align at places, but having all the windows not align and then having the basement windows not aligned just seems very
Yeah,
out of place.
I think those could be shifted from what I'm seeing.
You're right. I hadn't thought about the transition of stucco from below to ephes up top. It almost calls for a band board of some sort.
Yeah, because I think it's a panelized, it's a drive-it system, so it's like comes in panels.
Yeah. So it'd be like the 4x8 sheets of the
Yeah.
whatever insulation.
I thought the rear elevation on the second floor could benefit by a couple of windows on either side of the door, even small windows into those bedrooms. I think that would help balance out that rear elevation. And then I had similar comments to Dave's on the other items.
Actually, I can't tell from the existing photos if the existing home has actual board trim on the corners or not. It seems, I always thought stucco had just like a bullnose corner. typically.
Mhm. Well, and then just the detailing around the window itself, it looks like they have projected sills.
Yeah.
I don't know if that detailing is going to be, what they use for the new ones. And then I had similar comments to everyone else. Nothing really new on the comments. So, all right. That covers 330 Marshall. And then last one on our list in the work session, or at least, no, it's not. Yes, it is. 1 Selma Avenue, that's a church addition.
I had a question about the elevator shaft that's being put on. Is that a window in the upper corner of the elevator shaft? And if it is, what's it a window to?
I don't know. Maybe they put lights in there and then.
Yeah. Well, and if it is, I mean, it almost seems like if it's gonna be like representing like a mimicking a bell tower of some sort, go all in and do something really to make it look like a bell tower or a steeple or something. I don't know.
I had a comment on, there's windows in the reception and pastor office. Their storefront system, but they don't align with the entry storefront system, and I thought it might be nice if those window heads align. For some reason, those are popped up taller. Not sure why.
Head height.
Yeah.
So I had a question about the, on the south elevation, they're calling for a green screen planting wall. It appears to be separated from the building
Mhm.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
And is that just to hide that large blank wall? And then I was wondering about the
Here's-
cross section that shows the basement classroom additions. And it looks like a pretty, probably a standard height for a parapet wall. But then there's this drop ceiling, whereas if maybe the ceiling was, interior ceiling was a little higher, you might be able to get some clerestory windows on that wall.
Mm.
Provides, a little more natural light. I guess looks like there might be
Versus
skylights.
just versus just skylights, yeah.
But rather than, screening that blank wall, if something could be done to that wall.
Do parking spots butt up to it directly?
Mhm.
I guess that might be a question.
I don't know, I feel like the singlets windows and the buttresses are such strong elements that, there might be an opportunity to, sort of reflect those elements on the addition.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, I think they did a really good job adding a challenging program. And then also holding the main level away from the existing facade. I mean, that wasn't easy. But I was wondering if there could be more articulation or something on that exterior wall. Because it is so very blank.
Mhm.
I think there's some opportunities there, maybe even a additional window or more into the reception area. It just, I really feel like there needs to be some more interest or articulation on that addition.
Yeah, I agree because the existing elevations are showing the church without any of the stonework jointing. So how can that play into the jointing of the ephes for the panel?
Yeah.
Yeah. To Mark's point on the building section 1 on the sheet 6.2, there are ground level windows facing north off the sanctuary, off the basement that could be replicated on the south face.
Say that again?
There's windows on the ground floor here that could be put there to let
Oh.
light in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah, I guess I thought the addition was very simple and sort of a nice, contrast, modern, simple, um, as opposed to the stonework on the existing church. So I really didn't, I like the simplicity of the architecture. As far as the clear story windows, um, that classroom, it just looks like where the structure is. I'm not sure how that would work. So the idea of a simple planting, screen, um, kind of goes with more with the more modern architecture, um, of the building itself, which I personally thought was, kind of a nice of its time, detail, simple. I wasn't sure about the the elevator shaft at the corner, um, what was going on there, but I didn't really have any other comments on the architecture. All right. Um, that's the end of our work session, I do believe. We have 13 minutes. And so for the next 13 minutes, we're just going to take a little short recess. And at 5:30 sharp, we will begin our official meeting. Thank you. 5:30, so we will begin our regular meeting after our completing our work session. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Introduce Yolanda Wilkins and Mara Perry with the city. We have Sarah Richardson, who's on the Zoom. Carol Duncan, Tracy Collins, Mark Vogel and David Yates and myself. Bob Buckman, we're all volunteer architects and landscape architect on the board. First item of business is review of meeting minutes from January 18th, and there are 4 of us present. With that, I'm going to ask for a motion on the meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the January 18th meeting minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting minutes from January 18th are approved. We next have a couple of pre-approvals. Ask for a motion for each of these. First one is 461 Bacon Avenue. May I have a motion
Motion to approve 461 Bacon Avenue as submitted.
with the pre-approval?
Yes. approved.
The text on,
Your other one.
I'm sorry. Can
That's
someone else
okay.
make The motion.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike.
I missed it.
Okay, I make the motion to approve 461 Bacon Avenue with the condition that the pre-approval with the understanding that 1 or 2 fixed or awning windows will be added to the west elevation of the garage addition. Windows will be in size and proportion similar to the windows proposed in the family room west elevation, likely centered in the new garage. Also with the clarification that the gables will have vents, not windows.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, 461 Bacon's approved. And then one more pre-approval, 676 Atalanta. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 676 Atalanta based on the updated drawings submitted at the this evening's meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. 676 Atalanta is approved. At this point, if we call your project and you're here in person, we'll ask that you come to the microphone in front and introduce yourself. We'll discuss your project. If you're online, to raise your Zoom hand and Yolanda will add you to the chat. First project is 47 Joy Avenue. Is there anyone present for that? So we have Jason online. I think you're muted.
Yep, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay,
Welcome.
Jason Lehman with Jeff Dan Associates Architects here to answer any questions you guys may have.
Okay, thank you. Comments from the board? I don't believe we had any. So, it is a public hearing since it's in a historic district. So with that, is there anyone else present that wants to make a comment about 47 Joy Avenue? In person or online? Seeing no one, may I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 47 Joy Avenue as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, Jason, you're approved.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You too.
Next, we have 36 South Core Avenue, screen porch.
Hi, I'm Jenny Gasso. I wasn't
Welcome,
sure.
Jen.
Had to read the sign to make sure
Yeah.
I was following directions correctly.
All right. Comments from the board on 36 South Core.
Looks good.
I just had a question about the window in the kitchen. That is going to be removed, right?
The window's gonna be, one's coming out and then one's
Oh.
being short, lengthened.
Okay.
Yeah, Yeah,
Sounds good.
but they'll be matching. Whatever's left on that wall, they'll all match.
Yeah,
So,
that'll be good.
Okay,
I think that was the only comment.
okay,
Thanks, Jenny.
thank you.
Public hearing, is there anyone else present or online that wants to make a comment about 36 South Gore? Seeing no one, may I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 36 South Gore as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, 36 South Gore is approved. Next, we have 219 Portland Terrace. Anyone present for that project?
Hi, this
Hello?
is Courtney Meyer.
Hi, Courtney, welcome.
Hi, I'm the homeowner. I was just here if you had questions.
Sure, I know we saw this one, I don't know when it was, a month ago. And I think at the time there were trying to find the submittal.
So Bob, maybe I can help with this one. So,
There were
back
questions.
in December, it was approved. The contractor was on Zoom. You all discussed some of the options. One of the options was that the transoms would remain, with a grill, but then the lower windows were going to just be a standard, casement. And you had asked the contractor if they needed to talk with the homeowner. The homeowner has since gotten some additional information, which I think she needs to share what she's found and what she would like to propose instead, because they are having difficulty being able to get that created. So I think she might be able to clarify what she's asking for, because we didn't receive a new submittal.
And.
Oh, that's my misunderstanding. I thought the contractor sent in a new resubmittal that has that has individual casement windows, but has a grill pattern that looks very nice on the top to mimic the transom.
Oh, no, he didn't submit anything that I received.
Oh,
Okay, if I need to have him resubmit it for next month, I can do that.
Oh, I don't want you to have to be extended any longer. So essentially, can you describe again what it is so that the board can try to understand?
Well, it's those large windows would be would be 3 large casement windows. And where the transoms are, those would not be separate windows, because the window companies, one of them can make them that small, the other one can't even make them those dimensions, like the window at all. We also looked into the option of leaving the transoms where they were and just replacing the bottom, but that would look, I think from the outside, I don't think anyone thinks that would look the best. So what they proposed was they have a really nice grill pattern where they can divide the top half of the window right where the transom is with a very thick, nice wood look, and then have the same pattern of the transom on top of each window. So essentially you couldn't tell, but it would be 1 window instead of 2 window units for each of the 3 divisions.
understood. So that's, you know, we were basically given the original side and rear where I think they were number 5, 10, and 15 on the back. So there's 2 pair, you know, 2 sets of 3, right, on the side, and then there's
Correct.
a pair on the back. So the proposal now is just a casement in each of those positions with an additional horizontal added at the same level as the transom, and then there will be a grill that mimics what was in there originally.
Correct.
Okay, now are these 3 single casements or 3 pairs of casements? There are going to be 3 single casements in each opening. So I mean,
Right.
it's going to be like.
That's what I'm hearing. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
So
Then-
right now, it looks like there's a pair of casement or a pair. or a
Right.
Pair in each of those, and it's now going to be a single.
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, and then the grill in the top at the part that will look like a transom will match what's there. And now, is there any sort of grill in the lower sash in the casement, or is that going to be just single?
Your last approval, it was clear below.
Right,
Yeah,
Yes.
but I'm just asking if
Clarifying.
that's still the proposal.
right.
Ms. McGuire, is that still the proposal? That the lower portion's not going to have a grill?
That's still the proposal, but I'll be honest, if we're kind of 50-50 on the grill on the bottom, so if that's important, we'll do it too.
Well, you know what we can do if everybody's agreeable, we can approve it both ways. And that way, when y'all make up your mind, you wouldn't have to come back for a change.
I appreciate that.
I mean, if everybody's okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Courtney.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, with, that, may I have a motion on 219 Portland Terrace? Somebody.
Carol did it.
I'm trying to
Word it, yeah.
formulate how to word this. It's liable to be bumpy, so everybody just prepare yourself. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve 219 Portland Terrace with the understanding that the casement windows in question, number 5, number 10, and number 15 will be replaced with single casement windows in each of the openings. There'll be a wide horizontal bar mimicking the existing transom. The transom-looking portion of the window will have grills to match the existing, and the lower part of the sash will have no grills.
As an option.
As an option, they have grills or an option to provide grills similar to the existing.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Thank you, Mara.
Aye. Opposed? All right, Courtney, you're approved as
Thank you.
noted.
Takes a village.
yeah.
Yep. For sure. All right, next on our list, we have 457 Yorkshire Place. Anyone present or online for that? Greg. Hello, Greg.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Are you the homeowner or?
Yes, I am the homeowner.
Okay, I think, there was a question about I wasn't sure if it was, where exactly the motorized awning was being placed. There's that, side porch roof that's slightly back from the fascia of the adjacent, room, and we weren't sure, is that being built out to match the adjacent, structure, if that makes sense?
Yes, it is. And so I have the questions that were asked earlier this week. So the response from the contractor is this: the small overhang would be rebuilt in order to support the awning. The provided image has been adjusted for such. However, there will be field adjustments made to ensure the slope is adequate for the shingles. And additionally, the small overhang will be rebuilt and reinforced. The overhang fascia will be sized on site in order to make a good transition. The overhang will also be made flush to the building in order for the awning to extend completely across. So it'll be one long contiguous run, if you will, for attaching the awning.
Okay. Thank you.
And
Yep, go ahead.
yeah, no, thank you. I didn't know if you were wanting answers to the other questions that were asked previously as well.
I think at this point, that was the only one that we talked about in our pre-meeting.
Okay.
Thank you for offering. So with that, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be basically rebuilt in the same configuration.
Yeah, it looks like if you do cut that roof overhang back, from what I'm seeing in the photos, that awning is gonna run in front of your window.
It'll be above the window. So so they're going to reconfigure that small overhang, but
Just the
it'll,
Oh,
it'll
right.
be,
Okay,
yeah, it'll be above, just under the gutter. is the
Yeah,
plan.
Okay.
you can see it's pushed up in that sketch, it looks like.
Oh.
So they're basically gonna keep the architecture, the brackets, but it's gonna be rebuilt and it's gonna be a little higher up from the window, right? So,
Correct, yes.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're trying to put it as high as we can, uh, just for, for clearance for walking around on the patio.
sure. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't think we have anything else. So with that, may I have a motion on 457 Yorkshire Place?
Make a motion to approve 457 Yorkshire Place as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right, Greg, you're approved. Good night.
Great, thank you so much. Good night.
All right, next we have 24 South Rock Hill Road. Anyone present for that one?
Evening, I'm Tim Hollerbach. We're the architect for the project. I'd be happy to address any of the comments that you guys had in the pre-meeting. The columns that you guys talked about, they are round with a square base. They're depicted that way on the floor plan. I realize on the elevation, it's a little bit hard to show, roundness, but they will match all the way around the house. Even the addition will have the same thing. The railings will all match going around it. The siding that is on the front of the house or on the existing house, it'll match all the way around as well as also. The stone on the garage, the facade of the garage, it's gonna match what's existing as well too. The chimney, there's a few things that you guys brought up that are errors on my part. The front door is going to remain with the transoms and the side lights, and the stone on the chimney will also remain. It's an actual masonry chimney. We're not touching it. That was just my guys were hatching and I missed it.
And then on the attic office, there's
Yes.
a door. Is that shown to like a crawl space or something? or
That just
it's-
goes,
it's
that's
not
an existing
exterior
door. No, that's not an exterior
Okay.
door. That just goes into some unfinished attic
Fine.
space where the storage, old homes.
Did you get a chance to consider the comments about additional windows on the
Yes.
left?
Yes, we can, I have no problems adding some windows to that middle bedroom because all the other bedrooms do have two in them. It only shows one because there was an existing opening there today and we just put an egress window in it, but I don't think there's any issues adding the second one. And that bathroom upstairs could probably have an additional one, like a transom or something along the lines.
Yeah, that would be fine. I think that would help break it up and it'd be nice to have some natural light in that
Yes.
bathroom. Okay.
All right, any additional comments from the board?
Nope.
Everyone's good? All right, yeah, thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
With that, may I have a motion on 24 Rock Hill Road, South Rock Hill Road?
Make a motion to approve 24 South Rock Hill Road with the following clarifications. All of the columns will match the existing columns on the front. The siding on the addition is to match the existing siding. The front door is to remain. The stone on the chimney is to remain. 2 additional windows will be added on the left elevation at the bedroom and at the bath. That sound good?
Correct.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right, you are approved. Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thanks. Next, we have 330 Marshall Avenue, second story addition.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome.
I'm Nate. I'm the homeowner.
Dane,
I'm Dennis Sharp. I prepared the drawings for the contractor.
great, welcome.
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. So we had a few questions, which I can run through. One, just going through my list, the stucco itself is existing stucco. You're adding a second story. And then are you going to keep the existing stucco and try to match it?
Yeah.
what's the,
Match it the best that we can. I mean, I'm not sure how that works. How do you match drive it to stucco? But I know it's already done on some parts of my house, so, and it looks flawless.
yeah,
So we'll probably fix up some of the stucco as well. and
Okay.
Patchy parts.
the detailing around the existing windows, it's a little bit hard for me to tell in the pictures, but it looks like maybe there's a projected sill, or I wasn't quite sure what, if there's anything else around those existing windows. Are you planning on matching the same detail?
Those are going to be removed.
Okay,
The protruding sills are going to be removed
okay,
on the first floor. And then the second floor will have no protruding sills like that.
So it's shown as a frame around each window. So is it the whole, is it gonna be framed out, each window? Is there gonna be?
But you know how they detail around the window with drive it, just put a 4-inch trim around it.
Okay, so you're
Right.
getting rid of the
Great.
sills and keeping that trim the same around all sides of the window? Okay.
I mean, currently, I would guess that your existing windows are slightly recessed from the face of the stucco, right?
Correct.
So typically, they would put the slope sill on there to keep water out of the house. And so that's why I asked, the question. I think if the existing one, if you, I don't know, you can really remove those, are you? But is that the plan? I mean, you still have to have a sloped sill for the windows, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think there would be consistency if you chose to leave those slopes on the first floor and then maybe go without them on the second floor. It'd be a shame to do that work to maybe not turn out with a good function for you, and then also to lose that articulation.
As long as you're okay with not using the extended sill above, but keeping them below.
Right, I think
and
that's
having
the,
that inconsistency.
yeah, I mean, that was the question I had, because I can't, the pictures are small, but, if, I wouldn't take the sill out of the first floor windows if you like the way it looks. It's certainly very functional, and you'd save a lot of money.
Yeah, well, then we'll leave them. Yeah.
So I think it was more to do with, they're all rendered the same way. So I think clarification on those details.
And on the existing corners, are there existing corner boards on the outside corners of the building, or is it just a bullnose stucco corner on the vertical corners of the building?
Yeah, I mean, there's no
Yeah,
trim or anything on there.
Okay, yeah, well, the pictures are small, they're in black and white, so it's hard to see, but then on the elevations, they're showing something. It could be a downspout, or it could be a,
That's a downspout.
okay, yeah. So, where I'm getting at is that when you have the addition coming in, and this is also on from the first floor to the second floor, we talked about it earlier, is how you transition from stucco to drive it.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a reveal or something, or a band board or something? And also when you have two walls hitting together, if you drop one back a few inches, you can then make a better transition than trying to feather in stucco to drive it, and vice versa.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I think with, you keeping the existing stucco, the transition, for long-term maintenance would almost, I think, be a lot better if you would introduce a control joint. So that could be a horizontal, any sort of horizontal detail to help separate those materials. Trying to, mesh them together, I think is maybe not I personally, I don't think I would.
Especially expansion and traction. Right?
Exactly. Expansion and contraction. And so, considering something at the horizontal between the materials, I think would help.
Would you
Yeah.
be opposed to him? I mean, he's got a picture. He's been trying to model. it all.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got other examples with trim that would work as long as it's, the proportions are right.
Right. I mean, I think it could be very subtle, but it's really like, this is not just aesthetic, but it's also just a, question of
Yeah.
long-term maintenance and durability for your house, for you as well. So
Here to match too, rather than, yeah, no, I think we could do it. We could paint it the same color.
And it could be a simple
Right.
reveal joint,
Yeah.
or it could also be something as large as that. You have the fascia board of the walkout porch.
It could be-
If that continues around, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's, you gotta look at that in a rendering or something before you make the determinate.
Yeah,
Make the decision.
somewhere between the two, I think.
Yeah.
It's, okay. I know there's some other things, Carol.
Yeah. Um, that rear elevation at the second floor is pretty blank on the upstairs. I think, it would benefit a lot by having just a symmetrically placed pair of windows on each side of that door into the bedrooms. And it would be nice to be able to see into the backyard from those bedrooms too.
Yeah, no, I see why you would say that. One, for budget reasons, we wanted to keep the windows to a minimum and, we have plans for that second floor, outdoor deck. We're gonna be putting some, like growing vines, on either side of that door. Cause that's gonna be there's gonna be like sort of an outdoor small greenhouse type thing out there, so.
Well, this is just what popped into my mind's eye. You could even do small windows and then have your greenery go around them, which would look very cool.
So maybe like transom windows just on the out on either side of the
Or
door.
yeah, just,
Squares, like a craftsman window.
Yeah, I don't want craftsman because it's definitely
I
not
mean,
craftsman.
just something maybe even like similar to these windows right here,
Hmm.
the smaller ones. So it would be consistent with your other window style, but it would be smaller. Then you could have your greenery grow up to the windows and maybe around each side, which is I think would be a really cool look.
I consider that.
I think I was looking at your site plan. I don't know if I see a north arrow. Oh, there it is, the north arrow. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's
Well,
also
that-
important to note that the house is, I don't know if you guys know where my house is, but
Yeah.
it's pretty hidden.
Yeah.
You definitely can't see the back side of the house from the street or anywhere, really. You can't see you can't see anything, especially in the summer. Most people
Well-
don't even know there's a house there. Yeah.
Well, we always look at the house because things change. I mean, houses come and go, trees certainly come and go, things get sold, torn down, built. So that could be the case now, but
Sure.
give it time. So
Well, Yeah, I had a similar thought on the deck and really, I think, just looking at it from the outside, but also, your interior bedrooms themselves, I personally think they benefit from windows on more than one wall. Just imagine yourself being in the space and maybe
Yeah.
not everyone would agree, but, just having light and view. I had a similar comment on the back upper bedrooms, really,
Yeah.
that's what those are. But the style could be something small or, it doesn't have to be the big egress window.
Sure. Okay.
And then I think on the same line we were talking about the window alignment on that upper floor is slightly off from the lower ones. I don't know if that was intentional.
On the
It
left.
definitely wasn't intentional. I think if we could align them, we would, but I think that because of the floor plan, unless,
Like if you're putting the window in the center of the bedroom upstairs,
Yeah, like
and the
that.
existing windows downstairs are located, they won't align. So if you put a window upstairs that along the basement, then it won't be similar to ventilation slabs.
Right.
Configuration of rooms upstairs are not the same as, because you're dealing with existing window layout below.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it would be fine to be aligned from what I've seen. I mean, you don't have any information on the main floor.
At
I
least
think
the-
I think
nothing
that
wrong
the master bedroom or the
Right.
bedroom on the left can be aligned and the window in the closet can be aligned,
Right.
but the one in the middle, I
Because
think
of the
that one's gonna have to
bathtub.
stay. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. And personally, to me, that would, that would look better in any case. They all look like they're just slightly off, but that way, it would sort of look, a little bit better. And it looks like it works with the center of the rooms, pretty close to it.
We can make it work. We'll align those. The two we'll align the
The
bedroom
left.
and the left and the right. The center is gonna have to stay.
Sure, because of the tub.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, maybe because it's a tub, maybe that center window is a taller, like a higher window. That's
Transom. Do you guys want a
higher
full-size
sill.
window or?
Um,
like obscure glass. I'm not sure what's going in there, if you thought that through, but
Yeah, we might make it a shorter one.
Having a sill down low in a tub is prone to
Yeah,
nightmares later.
yeah, we could shorten that one,
Which one?
the middle window,
Mhm.
the bathroom window above the tub.
Raise the sill up.
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
On the right-hand side, there's an existing chimney. Is that being removed?
That's being removed. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Tracy, do you have anything else?
I think just additional window comments, just to try to break up the elevation a little bit. The right elevation, it might be nice to have a window there. On the single story addition, right now there's just a door and the rest of the wall is blank.
Oh, that's the kitchen.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
don't have anything drawn on the floor plan, so that's why it's hard. for
Right,
It's got to do the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it last week. I would show it to you, but
Yeah.
that whole wall is kitchen. That's where like the range and everything is. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. And then I don't know if you'd want to add windows on either side of the fireplace, but that could help
yeah, so
break up.
I think that would look good from the outside, but we're looking to do built-in bookcases on either side of the fireplace. And that wall is, the other side of that wall is right where my driveway is. It's a very small, there's not a whole lot of space. And my garage is right there. So anytime that anybody pulls in or out of the garage, it's gonna be headlights right through those windows. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to do bookcases.
You put in high windows so the light wouldn't affect you directly?
I'm just not a big fan of the high windows. You know, it's not really the style of the house, you know.
It doesn't have to be like contemporary looking type. I mean, it can be in a similar vein
Mhm.
to what you have and, trimmed out the same.
Yeah. No, I think I just like the bookcases, you know.
That existing door, does it have a transom above it at the entry,
The existing, which
Front door.
front door?
yeah, that's gonna be replaced. So no transom above the new
Okay.
front door. There'll be like a pediment, you know,
Right.
above that.
And the front porch isn't shown on the plans. Is that changing at all?
It doesn't show, there
It-
should be like
It's
a-
not on the plan view. So,
oh, the floor plan?
yeah, the floor plan.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Is that changing? So right now, it looks like there's steps that go to the left and right side and
Correct.
the front. Is that remaining as is?
That is, yes, that is what the plan, yeah, that is what we're gonna be building. I guess the floor plan is to have this.
Yeah, the floor plan doesn't show it.
So there's stairs going down from each side, not going directly.
Not in the front. It was the front.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the front, and I think that just the print maybe showed those
Yeah,
dotted
the
lines.
graphic of it is not.
Yeah,
It looks like maybe that was intended to be your demolition, where
Yeah,
the stairs were coming
probably.
straight, and then it just didn't get zapped out of the
right.
final
They're gonna go off to
elevation.
either side because
Yeah.
the side can go to the backyard and
Yeah.
I have no front yard really. So, I mean, it's very small. So that's
Well-
why we decided to go on either side.
And then the other clarification, since we're talking about the new porch, the side elevations don't show the new overhang, the porch, so it looks like it's a simple gable that's gonna project out all the way to the new foundation wall. Is that what we're seeing?
The front,
Yeah,
it's not a front porch. It's, well, you're talking about the pediment above the door?
Or does that stick out? It's not
yeah,
direct-
is that
Oh,
just,
not far. It's just like,
yeah, okay,
it's a pediment that'll, you know.
surround, it's
Basically a
basically,
door surround, there's. no
yeah, it's a
projection.
door
Correct.
surround.
It's not like a full portico or anything.
Yeah, gotcha.
This is, I think that we're making a lot of progress here, which is great. And this is just something I'm throwing out there to see if you considered putting any sort of protective roofs over your doors, just, to afford you some protection if you're trying to get in when it's raining or hailing or something, and to help protect your doors from getting beat up and weathered. I didn't know if that was anything that y'all thought about.
Yeah, so for the back, that back French door on the rear elevation, that someday I want to put like some timber to grow some vines up and everything. So that's what's going to grow out there. That's why I don't want to build anything right now. That portico is kind of the style that I want. I think that'll give us enough that the door is recessed a little bit. I don't know if you can see that in the pictures.
Yeah.
But it's recessed enough that, and not very many people use the front door, anyways. Yeah, nobody's going to use the front door. It just kind of looks good. Yeah, it's a big hill. Yeah.
If I can go back to the front porch again, sorry. So on the right elevation, it looks like instead of a railing, it's a wall? Or is it, there gonna be a railing above the wall?
I was imagining like a railing, or is it a wall? I don't even,
Well, the day we talked about, we were talking about a wall going up with the stairs coming down. but
Yeah.
you wanna Flip it up to a rail. I mean, up to date drawing either way, but we were kind of talking about the wall.
You're just going to need some sort of handrail there incorporated with your wall, you know, because of the
Yeah,
number
it
of
might be
steps
kind of a
you
low
have.
wall right now on there.
Well, the handrail's going to have to be a specific
Right.
height in order to be code compliant. So you might want to kind of fine tune what you all want to do there as far as the height of the wall and the handrail and where you're going to put the handrail. So, because I think that'll have a big impact on how the front looks.
Yeah,
Cover up your front door, yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I just, because I can tell you've taken a lot of care in how you want your house to look, and that's going to be like a big thing right on the front.
Oh, yeah.
So, you might want to give some thought to how you want to coordinate that.
Yeah.
All right, any additional comments from the board?
Are we looking at are we looking at a resubmittal, or are we looking at a lot of caveats
Feel
or?
good with the resubmittal. I mean,
What's that?
I would think so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just,
Agreed.
especially with some of these elements that are going to be pretty prominent, it would be nice to, that'll give you some time to figure out exactly how you want to coordinate your handrail and the wall and draw your window sizes and everything. And then just, make a resubmittal based on what we've discussed here so we can,
What if we just remove the front porch altogether? What if we just,
It's your call.
yeah, why don't we just, that won't be part of this project. We'll just, so just,
Nobody uses it anyway.
nobody uses it anyway.
Just leave the current porch as it is.
So everything else,
yeah, I think I would still like to see a resubmittal
Right,
personally.
because we're looking at the window trims and the sill, the
The
detailing,
horizontal band.
the detailing for the ephes to
Yeah.
stucco. What else we're looking at?
Well,
Ad-
the portico
Additional
with the
windows
front
on the
door, does
rear.
that project out at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some additional notes clarifying some of the things we discussed, like the existing sills on the first floor to remain on those windows, just so we're clear that, all the things we've discussed here are incorporated into your submittal. And I know it does delay you a bit, but the thing is, it's really in the project's best interest and in everybody's best interest for there to be good clarity and definition on what's submitted and what's to approved. I think it'll save everybody some time once you get under construction.
all righty.
The time frame is,
If- If I can get drawings by noon on Tuesday, I can get you on the next meeting, which is the 15th.
We can do that.
yeah, so, and if those items typically, that we've discussed are picked up, that usually, goes pretty well, right? So we've had a chance to talk through everything.
Yeah.
But I think, to Carol's point, if it's a few things, but once the list starts to grow, it becomes difficult. I think unless we just see the changes so that we know we're not, we're all on the same page, so.
That works.
So we can table, any vote for your project tonight, and, you guys want to make the revisions. And like Mara said, just get them back in, and we'd be able to review for the next one, so.
Mara, since it's a probably a 6, 7 item list, is there something written to them that goes out or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make sure. I'll send a list over of
Okay.
what we need, based on what my notes are. And then just as a reminder, which they all know this, if it covers everything and they see the packets, I will send an email out if you end up being a pre-approval, which means you might not need to attend the next meeting. If it covers everything and they look at it and everything looks good, they'll all let me know and we'll let you know.
And then
Good.
it's also on YouTube too, if you want to review
Oh,
Yeah.
what was discussed here.
YouTube, apparently.
Great.
All right, great. Have a
Love
good,
you too.
a good night. All right.
Thank you.
All right, have a good evening. We're
Thanks.
good.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have number 1 Selma Avenue.
Bring that closer to you.
Making a rise. I had a additional, there's one here for everybody if you want to pass them around. Just my name's Bill Wishmeyer. I'm a retired architect, retired commission member.
Oh,
I'm a member of Christ Lutheran Church. I serve on the building committee, and I'm collaborating on the design with Cohen Hilberry Architects. So I've got lots of hats on tonight. The chair of the building committee, Susan DeBusk, is raising her hand there. She's with us. And my wife's back in the back reading the paper. I don't know whether you want a full presentation of what we're doing here. I prepared to answer any of those questions or more that were shared with me by Mara yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, I would say, Bill, if you want to talk just a little bit about your design team's approach, because I know we saw this a while ago.
We saw it, you saw it 2-3 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that. Hasn't changed a lot.
Right.
As we said at the time, we took the approach of trying not to replicate the existing building, that there were all sorts of reasons not to, particularly trying to find the stone that would match was very difficult. That's 80 years old limestone's been sitting out in the rain all that time, and the way it was quarried left some very interesting saw marks on it that are kind of distinctive. When we built a columbarium out between the church building and Lockwood, and we had a hard time finding even plain limestone that would match that. So we took the cue from the National Historic, whatever they're called. Anyway, about adding on to historic buildings by doing something that was clearly different, and this is clearly different. We are doing some remodeling on the inside, but obviously what you see on the outside is an elevator shaft, a new entry from the parking lot, and some offices for the pastor and the secretary. Right now, when the church was built,
It's interesting, it was built by a man named Steinmeier, who built 60 of these in the Midwest. And a friend of mine who I saw the other day was in one of them in Peoria, and he said it was just said the guy just copied everything from his cell phone and stamped them out like Dunkin' Donuts. So, anyway, but it's a beautiful building and it's really sweet. If you ever get inside, it feels wonderful inside, and hopefully will remain so. I think you're all probably, interested in what the exterior material is. In order to distinguish itself from the existing building, we thought we'd take something that was very crisp and minimal in its own way, as a way to set it apart from the rich qualities of the existing building. We looked, and I think the last time I was here, we looked at some kind of a ceramic panel originally, but I was warned away from that by a friend who had difficulty in getting that fabricated. So then the idea was to go maybe to stucco, real stucco. There's problems with real stucco in this kind of a climate, that there's freeze thaw issues if you use a 3-coat cementitious stucco. Also, there was the need to create a wall section that had outside insulation in order not to bridge which is something new to me. I think it's great, but since I practice, that's all new. Anyway, by the time you talked about outside insulation, anyway, here you are, you're at EFS. So that's why it is, that's the way it looks. The front entry is a little different from what you saw a few years ago. Right now you go in a little door that leads you up a concrete fire stair that's about this wide. And if somebody's at this top of the stair, they got to shout down anyway. So we're tore out the inside of that, and we're adding substantially to the width of both the going up and the going down, encouraging people to stay after the service and come down for Fellowship Hall. So that's about it.
This render is very helpful. Thank you. It's good. It clarifies a lot of questions that I had. So.
Yeah, this helps me a lot too. I really, I can see some of the articulation at that corner of the elevator with the reveals and everything, and that those little details really help make it look richer than it does in the black lines. So I thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Sure,
yeah,
sure.
So I had a question about the green screen wall that is
Oh, yeah.
in front of the building. So it just, I was curious if the purpose of that was just to, try to dress up or hide that blank wall, or what was the intent of the green
That's
screen?
part of it. Unfortunately, we're cutting down a magnificent oak tree. It's the only place that we can build on our property.
Yeah.
And that adds so much to the tolerating the parking lot, which is so we'd had some luck growing ivy on the front to hide some HVAC units.
Oh, okay.
And the idea there was then in some way to try and create some green on that side of the building again. Hopefully we can get it to work.
Okay. And then the parapet wall on that addition, is the height just to prevent people from scaling the top and getting on top of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sort of the follow-up question then was the classrooms down below. Was there any ability to get any, windows on that side? And I
Well-
know you've got the drop ceiling and you're going to get pretty close to the ground, but there's looks like glass block walls on the existing church facade.
The being down at that level, if you put windows in, you're gonna be looking at car bumpers, basically, and the idea was to put some skylights in those rooms to get some natural light in there, but, in lieu of putting windows in, so.
Okay, thanks.
What about the, I see it in the rendering. It looks great. And I didn't understand in the drawings because maybe I missed the note. What is the little feature at the corner, the southeast corner? It's like a little monitor. Is it a light? Is it glass?
You mean at the top of the
Elevator shaft.
the elevator? I wanted to do something that it didn't look like an elevator.
Yeah.
Entirely. I was trying to explain this to Susan yesterday because somebody had asked that question. It does relate maybe to a bell tower a little bit without being overtly so. I told her it was kind of a, hi, how are you? We'll leave the light on kind of a gesture. There's going to be a light on up there.
Okay.
If the fire department will let's do it, so.
Yeah.
Just, and I thought it tied the
Mhm.
elevator down to the lower part.
I mean, it does, and with a modern detail, ties it to the original architecture
Mm,
as well, which has a little detail, at least in the rendering,
Yeah, right.
in the gable.
If the fire marshal says no, that, that would like risk the fire rating of the shaft and all that, is there a backup plan?
I'm just speculating. I'm kind of a doom and gloom guy, and I'm afraid that, that's I'm going to find a problem with it because I've never seen it done before.
Right.
And there's certainly plenty of electricity in elevator shafts, so I can't imagine that being a thing. If it was a fire issue, we could certainly put a smoke detector or a fire.
Oh, no, I was saying, if the elevator shaft is a rated enclosure.
Oh, I see.
With,
Whether the glass is, I gotcha.
right,
Yeah.
just something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and also the,
I was just gonna say, like worst case scenario, it's LED. I mean, that's what you can. It's a cloth of
It could
LED
be.
lights,
You're
and
right.
it's
just be a
completely
panel.
separated.
Be
right,
a light
right, and
panel
then,
up there, yeah.
and then your CMU could
Real
your
simple.
CMU could just be continuous, and so, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
idea. Thanks.
Now you have the clay tile roof, which is the orange color, and then you have the, that feature on the clock tower or the bell tower.
Mm-hmm.
Is that same color? Is that like a?
I'm gonna try and get something
Something
in
close,
that same
okay.
family, yeah. Mm.
I really like that feature. I like the idea of kind of, having that light, that welcoming light that stands up
The hell
above the
there.
neighborhood. I think that's cool. Yeah. I do. I really
No, I know.
No, I repeated what he said. He said,
What-
the hello there, like the hello. No, yeah, I like that.
The congregation is, the building is tucked behind a lot of overgrown shrubbery, and I drove by there tonight, in the rain, it just looks sad. It doesn't reflect the congregation, which is attracting younger families with kids, and we wanted it to have that
Mhm.
forward-looking aspect to it.
I just had one minor comment on the windows at the pastor office and at the reception. On
Mhm.
the hardline architectural drawings, it looked like those window heads didn't align with the entry storefront system.
Right.
But in the rendering, it looks like they could maybe align. I just think that should be consistent instead of having those bump ups.
That's because I changed it after I read your comment.
Oh, okay, good.
Aligning the.
Oh, looks good.
All right. If there's no more comments from the board, thank you, Mr. Wishmeyer, for your explanation. And with that, may I have a motion on number 1, Selma Avenue?
Do we have any changes? I guess just the clarification about the window alignment.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Was there?
I'll make a motion to approve 1 Selma Avenue, with the clarification that the windows in the reception and pasture areas will match the head height of the storefront at the entry, similar to the rendering presented tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? All right, you are approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Have a good evening.
Just like
And-
old times being here.
With that, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. I was gonna say, Bill, you were here. How many years ago did you